What's up, everybody? This is CMP with Sample Class, Producer Courses, and CMPKits.com. Don't forget to stop by CMPKits.com. Get yourself a copy of the brand new Last One Left chord pack by Pupil. It's got the MIDI, it's got the rip chord, it has the scalar presets, and it is fantastic. Now, today, I want to show you guys something that I do inside the MPC and the MPC software. It's like any other DAW I use, it has a template, right? So with MPC, you know, the you want to keep the flow moving. You don't want to be bogged down by the mixing process, right? So kind of the way that I handle that is with just having a good routing situation set up first. And I'll show you that real quick here on the mixer. First of all, when I look at the mixer, I like to use the fader view mode. It's just what I'm used to seeing when I see a mixer. You can see all of your inserts up here. And what I have first of all is, if you look here, I've got my mastering chain. If I'm going to master inside the box, and that is a SSL bus compressor, a mag EQ just to like boost the top and the low end. If that's something that I need, that's something that I do all the time on my SSL Fusion. So this is kind of replicating what I do over there. Standard clip. This is an amazing clipper. The thing that I like about this is the many oversampling modes that you have, and then also this Soft Clip Pro. This acts, it's not the same as like the drive knob on the Fusion, but it gives that that saturation. It's really good. It's a really good, think of it like an enhancer or something like that, right? And then the last thing that I'm using is a limiter, just to bring myself up to like between 10 and 8 LUFS. So you got the clipper. It's 3 stages of compression right there. You can get a really loud mix. And because the AKAI software doesn't have the greatest limiting, whether it be for like RMS or LUF, FabFilter's meter is the one that I like the most. It's just the easiest to use, in my opinion. You get this, you turn oversampling on, and you've got yourself like a really good mastering sound. The other thing is that using the new instruments that AKAI has, they kind of can use some help in the way that they're let's just put it out there. There's better reverbs and delays, right? So I made a couple sends. This is what I use in like Studio One and stuff, is the Lexicon 480. There's a lot of different companies that make a lot of different versions of this. Native Instruments has one. I think Softtube has one. There's the Lexicon version of this. This is the Lexicon inside the UAD environment. I also have the Pure Plate. So Pure Plate is something, plate reverb. So like I'll put that on like a kicker. I'm sorry, I'll put that on like a clapper or snare. Depending on if the track calls for it, and then just a couple of delays from Echo Boy, so that I've got that kind of set up right now. A lot of what I do with like catching a vibe and everything has to do with saturation, and one of like one of the most like slept on elements I feel inside the MPC for that is the vintage modes that they have. And I use the MPC 3000 vintage mode. You're not going to sound like an MPC 3000, but just when you're doing saturation, just having these little stages of it, a little bit here, a little bit there, it'll add up. Now, for a little bit more of an advanced thing, right? Because when I use something, I'm not really big on going outside of it, so I try to always figure out a way to stay in it 100%. And I'm going to use an MPC, and I'm going to use the MPC software. I want to be able to incorporate my hardware chain, which is um, a bus plus from SSL, and it's my Fusion, right? So what and not only that, but my analog summing environment from the D box, right? So in order to do that, if I go back to the mixer and we look at how I'm going out, I'm sending, you know, when I start the track, my template is it's a drum program so that I can just load my drums up. I don't put any samples preloaded on there because I don't want to, be trapped in using the same exact drum sound for every track. Um, and then I'll have three plugin channels loaded up so that when if I want to compose, boom, it's right there. I have a key group set up for an 808 already so that I don't have to, now we have that one button key group, and that's nice. But if I do it by myself, what that allows me to do is to have the routing set up. So I've got all of my drums for the most part going to submix one, right? I've got all of my plugin sounds, which would be, the stuff that's not the drums or the bass, that's going to submix two. So I could, I could control those there. And if I go and I look inside of what's going on, to these guys here. Let's see here. If we go to like track 1 and go to this program. So my first A1, that's my kick, right? And my kick is going out to output 13. That's a mono path on the summing mixer. My snare is going out to output 13. That's a mono path on my summing mixer, right? The 808 goes to the other mono path on the sub mixer, and then all the other sounds like hi-hat, different percussions, those will go out stereo. So like this software, even if you don't have this equipment, this is relevant because this software gives you the industry standard routing parameters that you would need to do anything. And just to show you that, going back to what I do with the with the analog situation, right? So I send everything out, all of the all of the multi tracks, I send them out to a summing mixer, and then they go from the summing mixer, they condense down to 2 channels, go to the SSL Fusion and the Bus Plus. But in order to print that, I have to record it back in. So all I got to do is take this audio track, use input 9 and 10, which if I pull up my if I was to pull up the my console from from UAD, you'd see 9 and 10 is the insert in, and then boom, when I'm done arranging my beat, okay, all I got to do is hit record on this. I have the audio version of it there, and then put that in my Dropbox so that my artists can just I could share the link with them, and they've got my beat folder and everything's right there, easy to use. But this right here is really important just for, because again, man, when you're on an MPC, you don't want to like have to stop and grab the mouse and look around and do stuff. This makes it super easy. If I want reverb, I'm just cranking up return 1. If I want delay, I'm cranking up return 3. Super simple. I don't ever have to touch this again. I just load it up. So if you guys appreciate this content, drop a like, drop a subscribe. The likes help a lot. That way other people can see this and benefit from the template as well. So you guys keep it simple, don't be basic, and we will see you on the next one.